Before I started working with Jack and the edge rowing team, my indoor rowing work on the erg had kind of plateaued. I'd been training around trying to get a sub 3 minute 1K and felt like I was just sitting at the 3:05, 3:03 mark for a couple of years because I wasn't doing any really kind of dedicated 1K training. And look, I didn't really know what to do. I'm new to the sport. I only really picked it up during COVID in terms of I bought an erg, started using an erg. So I really had really limited understanding of how I could improve my performance, the type of training I could do around my physiology, and how to improve. So I had no idea about polarized training. I had no idea about the volume of training I needed to do. So I was really kind of a novice, but a novice with a little bit of talent in terms of I was doing good times already, but certainly wasn't maximizing my potential. So what was I uncertain about before joining Jack and the edge rowing team? Well, I think the number one thing is anytime when you're paying for coaching is whether or not it's going to be bespoke, whether it's going to be tailored to my individual needs, or whether it's just going to be a cookie cutter approach. So I was optimistic, but uncertain as to whether or not I would get a program that was really kind of dedicated and focused on what I needed. And I was absolutely blown away by how focused the training program, the weights program, the mindset training was around my specific needs. I'm someone who doesn't struggle with motivation or discipline, but I didn't really have a program that was built around my needs. I'm much more of an anaerobic athlete, so needed to build a lot more of an aerobic base, but didn't really know how to do that because I hadn't grown up in the rowing environment. So whilst I'm quite athletic and strong based on my kind of previous working kind of functional fitness and CrossFit, I just didn't really have the knowledge of what I needed to do. All my kind of fears came to bear there, but I was really happy with what Jack provided. It was genuinely built around my needs. I felt Jack was incredibly attentive to what I was kind of going through and what I was aiming to do. So we started working together about 6 weeks before the Australian Indoor Championships in 2022. And I had a goal of winning that, the 1K and the 500 meters, but more importantly, doing a PB in both. And over a 6-week period, I won the New South Wales state champs for 40 to 49 year olds and won the Australian indoor champs for the 40 to 49s in both the 1K and the 500. So really reached my goals, but I couldn't have done it without Jack and not only his kind of tuition, but the support of the team. I found the WhatsApp community of other rowers incredibly useful, incredibly motivating, lots of added value around kind of mindset training, learnings from other athletes that are at a similar level to me or even better. It's always great when you're surrounded by, other athletes who are motivated, who are going through a similar kind of life stage as you are, but also share similar challenges around trying to fit in kind of high level, intense training around a really busy schedule. So the fact that it was really tailored to my life, the fact that I've got 3 young children and a busy job, I was able to, stick to the course and achieve my goals. And I think the number one thing I learned was around polarized training and the fact that you don't need to train super intensively all the time. In fact, that's a negative. I think previously I'd kind of been a bit of a just work hard, just get stuck in. Every workout should be like, incredible at putting me on the floor, and that's how I had trained for a long time. And I was kind of plateauing. I was getting injured a lot, especially with my lower back, and I was just running out of steam. So the shift towards a more polarized 80-20 model and really building my aerobic base was a bit of a game changer for me, and something I really enjoyed. So that was the biggest thing, I think, in just the way in which I can manage the training to get the most out of myself and reach my potential, rather than just kind of falling into the trap of every workout absolutely, killing yourself and then wondering why you struggle on race day or you struggle in certain events because you're exhausted. Think of it as an investment in yourself. If you do have goals, if you are looking to achieve something, beyond the ordinary, you have to invest in yourself, and that costs money, and that's okay. To push yourself beyond what you're capable of, you need great resources. You need a personalized approach. So if you're happy just doing, training and following, online programs, that's fine, but it's not built around you. You'll get some decent results, but if you're really looking to maximize your potential and just see where you can go, I'd really encourage you to, explore working with Jack and the Edge Rowing team, because they really do help you maximize your potential. And I think that's the most important thing if you're on the fence. I've always been pretty motivated, but the discipline to put in the hard yards, and know that unless you put in the hard work, don't expect things to happen. And I think, often people want to take the easy route. So I think, that applies to the rest of my life in terms of, how I am with my family, how I am with my job. So that dedication, that discipline, is something that, is a fundamental with, peak performance in anything, but it's something that I really took away and have continued to apply in other aspects of my life. That idea of being disciplined and dedicated to achieve one's goals, it's pretty critical. You can't just kind of show up when you want to show up. You have to put the hard work in when you probably don't want to put it in, but that will pay off in the long run. So that was something I've applied beyond rowing into other aspects of my life.